What it do, HBU, what it do?
I'm wide up.
What it do, HBU, what it do?
I'm wide up.
What it do, HBU, what it do?
I'm wide up.
It's game time, showtime, our time.
Let's get it.
It's game time, showtime, our time.
Hello and welcome to the premiere episode of the Yellow Jacket Network. I'm Connor Street and joined with me is Chance Fournette. And with that, Chance, let's get right to the action.
You know, it's a special episode. I shaved my beard for this. It was a busy week in Howard Payne sports. We've got all the action. We're going to bring it to you. We've captured and worked very hard on capturing some highlights so we can display our student athletes. Let's get right to the action. Alright, so it was a big week here in Howard Payne volleyball. We had 3 home matches, which is impressive because we only play 5 home games all season here in Brownwood. The ladies will be all over this country, but they returned home for their ASC Conference home opener. So the Lady Jackets returned home from their historic visit to Atlanta to play in the Emory University Classic Volleyball Tournament to host Sul-Ross State University in the Brownwood Coliseum. It was our first home event of the year. Very exciting atmosphere, good crowd turnout, and they defeated Sul-Ross 3-1. Sophomore outside hitter Kaylee Doring registered a season-high 14 kills, and freshman Jordan Livingston collected a career-high 33 digs as the Howard Payne University volleyball team defeated Sul-Ross State in their ASC Conference home opener. And moving on to Friday's match versus the University of Mary Hardin-Baylor, very good team that Howard Payne faced off against. They were 8-1 heading into conference, had just barely lost a heartbreaker at Hardin-Simmons, but Howard Payne was unable to overcome some obstacles there, and they fell 3-1. Freshman libero Jordan Livingston continued a stellar week in play, finishing with a career-high 2 service aces, and freshman setter McKenna Walker added a career-high 5 kills and 2 service aces during the Lady Jackets' 3-1 loss. Zartasia Bradley recorded a team-high 13 kills and a game-high 4 blocks, with Cheyenne Lovelady having 26 assists to lead the Lady Jackets in the game. Jordan Livingston also added 18 digs, and Howard Payne would lead the game in service aces with 6 and blocks with 7, despite falling in 4 sets. And Howard Payne volleyball ended the week with a match versus Concordia University, who was sitting at 4-4 coming into the match. The Howard Payne came out and took the game's first 2 sets before the Tornadoes were able to rally back and take the game in the final 3 sets to win 3-2.
Here we go, heading up to Abilene for football. Yellow Jackets coming off of a bye open up conference play against McMurray. McMurray coming off a 56-12 loss last week to Southwestern. Yellow Jackets would get down early in this, going down 27-0 at halftime. However, the Yellow Jackets totaled nearly 300 yards of offense in the second half, outscoring McMurray 21-6. The Jackets' defense kept McMurray out of the end zone in the second half, holding them to just 2 field goals. With 50 seconds remaining in the third, Kadrian Latson would give the Yellow Jackets their first touchdown of the game on a 1-yard run. That capped off an 8-play, 90-yard drive. Hunter Batten would also go on to score on a 1-yard run on what was a 15-play, 72-yard drive. To close the game out with 18 seconds left, Kadrian Latson would score again from 1 yard to end an 11-play, 80-yard drive. The final score in this one, 33-21, McMurray. The Yellow Jackets now go to 0-2 on the season, 0-1 in conference play.
In men's soccer action, Howard Payne was on the road against the University of Ozarks, where Daniel Lemus put a goal in the net to give Howard Payne a 1-0 victory. And then on the final game of the road trip, the men's team faced off against UT Tyler, where they recorded their first loss of the season, 5-0.
The women's schedule mirrored that. They played the Ozarks, beating them 3-2 with goals off of Rachel Crane and Leslie Garcia. They would also lose to UT Tyler 4-0. They now move to 2-1 on the season.
And the men are now 3-1 on the season and 1-1 in conference play.
This week, the Texas Alliance of Energy Producers held their annual meeting. At the meeting, they presented Howard Payne University and Hardin-Simmons with a certificate of appreciation for a game that occurred over 80 years ago. Our sports information director, Abram Choate, has the story.
In 1937, the West Texas Oil and Gas Association held their annual meeting in Abilene, Texas. And as a part of that associational meeting, they had a social event. And the social event was the Howard Payne Hardin Simmons football game. And both squads were very good at that time. And it was the social event ending their conference and their associational meeting. Well, 80 years later, they dug up an old letter and they decided, since their associational meeting, which is now the Texas Alliance of Power Suppliers or Energy Suppliers, they decided to recognize the two schools in Abilene this week and to give them a certificate of appreciation 80 years later after the fact. The funny thing is, that game 80 years ago ended in a 7-7 tie in the last game of the regular season. Hardin Simmons finished the season at 8-0-1, and Howard Payne finished this season at 8-1-1. And this is timely because this next week the two will face off again in Brownwood, Texas at Gordon Wood Stadium.
All right, coming up this week in HBU athletics, the men's and women's soccer team are in action, starting with Louisiana College. The Louisiana College women's team is coming in with a loss to Belhaven 1-0, and they come in with a record of 3-2 and a overall conference record of 0-1. The start time for that game is 2 o'clock on Thursday.
And coming up directly after that game will be the men's soccer match versus Louisiana College. Louisiana College coming off of an impressive victory over Belhaven 2-0 to collect their first win on the season. They are now 1-3 overall and 1-0 in conference. That start time is set for 4:30 p.m. out at Citizens National Bank Field, and admission is for free.
And they'll be in action again on Saturday when they take on Belhaven College. Belhaven women's are coming off a 1-0 win over Louisiana College, and they come into that game with a record of 2-3-1 and 1-0 in conference play. That game is at 2 o'clock.
And directly following the Belhaven women's soccer match will be the men's soccer match versus Belhaven University. Belhaven struggling this year. They are 0-3-3 overall with a 0-1 conference record. That one loss coming to Louisiana College, 2-0 as we mentioned earlier. Start time is for 4:30 p.m. Saturday out at Citizens National Bank Field, and admission is free. And we usually get a pretty good portion of crowd out there, so come early, get your space underneath the umbrella, and support your Lady Jackets and men's Yellow Jacket soccer. Coming up this week in women's volleyball, the volleyball team will head to Seguin, Texas to take on Texas Lutheran, who just came off of a 3-1 win over East Texas Baptist University in the Trinity Invitational. They are 5-5 overall.
After that, the Lady Jackets will be heading over to the ASC crossover tournament in Longview, where they will be taking on UT Tyler and Laterno. And to close off the week, the football team will be having their first home game of the year as they host the 12th ranked Hardin Simmons.
Yeah, that's right. Hardin Simmons will be in town at Gordon Wood Stadium. We hope to see you all out there at 1 p.m. for the start. They're coming off of a victory over Louisiana College, where they beat them 55-10. They are 2-0 overall and 1-0 in conference.
All right, that's what's coming up this week, and now it's time for our Player of the Week.
That's right. The Player of the Week for this week is Zartasia Bradley. She registered 33 kills and 8 blocks over 3 games of action this past week. Most importantly, she provided a spark on offense, and I think once you see these plays, you'll understand why we nominated her as our Player of the Week.
Congratulations to Zartasia.
And now for our Player of the Week, it's Zartasia Bradley at the net for a kill against UMHB. You'll see here as the play, it was an impressive volley. McKenna Walker makes the dive to save it, and then Cheyenne sets up Zartasia Bradley, who spikes it into the opposing player's face. Ouch. And really put it away. She was trying to fight back, claw back, and get the game into a 5th set. But the Howard Payne Lady Jackets came up a little bit short, but still an incredible play of the game. All right, congratulations to Zartasia Bradley and the entire volleyball team on making our Play of the Week.
That's it for this week's show on the Yellow Jacket Network. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Sting 'em.
What it do? I'm wide up. What it do? HBU, what it do? I'm wide up. What it do? HBU, what it do? I'm wide up. What it do? HBU, what it do? I'm wide up. It's game.